I'm going to be leading today's webinar. We're going to be talking about TikTok Shop, how to scale. A lot of these brands that we're working with on Amazon are looking to scale on TikTok Shop. We've been helping scale TikTok Shop brands for the better part of 2 years. I've been in the agency space, the Amazon space for the past 5 years, specifically on the Amazon to social media side in the back end as a CMO for multiple agencies. So as we start kind of trickling in here, I'm going to go over basically what you need to know about TikTok Shop. This is for any seller, Shopify, Amazon, Etsy, Walmart. Somebody who's trying to launch on TikTok Shop. Maybe you have been thinking about TikTok Shop, but you don't know how to do it. You're concerned because maybe some of your owners are outside of the US. Maybe you're in Australia or Canada. We've helped people launch or even in Israel right now. So, I would just preface this. It's very possible to scale a TikTok Shop, but we're going to go into that. We're going to go into what analytics, the mechanics behind TikTok Shop are, whether you need to be on TikTok Shop and registered as a US seller center, seller and merchant to start selling, if you can do anything else to increase sales, what video campaigns convert the best, how to generate more traffic and sales for your brand. And then we're going to get into what type of revenue you can expect on TikTok. Now, I will say this, most of the brands that we're working with now, we're partnered with the very, very large and well-known agency called Ibanez. Now, they're from Hong Kong, Shanghai. They work with a lot of Amazon sellers. They work with Shopify sellers to launch on the US seller center market on TikTok. We're going to go over a few of the case studies, the tools that you guys can use. And at the very end, I'm going to kind of give you guys an offer that's going to be related to how you can scale, an easy way to do it with low resistance. Now, initially, if you're selling on Amazon or anything like Shopify and you're sticking to one sales channel, most of the time you're going to be struggling with either fees, you have like terms of service issues, you're registered, maybe you're selling above 7 figures, but it's all due to PPC. And I want to get you in a position to where you can scale outside of just a PPC based and Amazon based revenue platform. So we're going to get into it now. There might be some lag here. First things first, we're going to get into TikTok Shop. Like, what is TikTok Shop? How can you register for TikTok Shop and what's required from you? Now, if you're located in the US and you already have a corporation, your articles of organization paperwork is set up, then with your ID, your passport, and your EIN, you're going to be able to register quite easily. Now, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get set up, but if you know what to do, it doesn't take longer than 2 weeks. What you need to know is the US Seller Center portal, which can be found anywhere on that TikTok Seller US domain on the university link if you look on Google. And what you're going to need to set up is, like I said, your US driver's license and your SSN. If you're an LLC, you'll use your EIN. For brands outside of the US, if you're outside of the US, you just need to register a company and have a US citizen own more than 25% in that LLC. There are ways around it. We have a legal team working to register these TikTok shops who are located outside or sellers outside of the US. Like I said, it's a very easy and simple process. Most people have this set up within 14 days. So before we get further into this, like, why sell on TikTok Shop? Like, the most important thing that people need to know is, like, do you need to be a 7-figure seller on TikTok Shop for you to succeed? And the answer is no. Sometimes having a 5-figure a month average order volume GMV coming in from another sales channel allows you to expand so that you can scale. And the whole purpose actually of this webinar is so that you can understand that TikTok Shop isn't all about this crazy, I want to scale quick, I want to scale within, you know, a snap of a finger and create viral content so that the world can see it and that everybody buys my product. Sometimes you're selling laundry detergent sheets. Sometimes you're selling stuff that is a very niche product. And if you're selling a niche product, it's okay to understand that it's still a possibility for you to sell on TikTok. So we have a lot of sellers that, you know, sell supplements, who are selling, you know, badges for, you know, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, doing crazy different stuff that you wouldn't normally think that an organic TikTok user would actually shop for. Now, I will say this, like, not everybody's going to purchase on your TikTok shop or on TikTok, but you have a billion people, users daily, who are on TikTok scrolling through the feed. And the thing with TikTok is most of the data that when you download the application is being scraped in the back end. So your interest, your searches is very similar to Google in the sense that most of it's targeted. So when you look at the back end, if you're thinking about targeting ads, if you're thinking about creating customer engagement, I'm going to flip over now to the ads on TikTok that we're running in the dashboard here. You can segment your audience almost down to the T. Your CSV, your engagement, website traffic from a pixel. You can even lead gen from other influencers and target that list and create an AI automated campaign on a low drip sequence, something around $20 to $30 per day. And that's going to prove some initial sales. Going back to it, like, your entire game on TikTok is once you're registered, you have the opportunity to scale in a blue ocean. If you're selling supplements, you're in a blue ocean. If you're selling lamps, you're in a blue ocean. It's almost a open space where not a lot of people know what to do, because there aren't a lot of people talking about TikTok Shop with all the kind of scrutiny and issues that's been coming up with the US politics and, you know, in relation to what's going on with China. So right now, it's a perfect time for people to start selling and take that opportunity, right? So seller success does not mean 7 figures per month selling on TikTok Shop. It doesn't even mean selling $1 million a year. It just means providing yourself with another sales channel so that you can make reasonable GMV outside of just that single channel that you're currently running ads or PPC campaigns to. And the common misconceptions here are you need a TikTok Shop to scale on TikTok. And I'll say this, most of TikTok Shop sellers are making 70 to 75% of their sales outside of TikTok Shop. If you're doing well on TikTok Shop and you already have that integrated for people like Goalie or people like Comfort, which is a clothing brand that literally just came out the past 2 years, they're already in the top ranked TikTok shops, and they direct most of their traffic to an external link where it's not even a landing page or link tree. It's simply their external link where they're posting organic content. And it's not the UGC stuff. It's not like, hey, purchase this. It's not anything standardized, anything brief from these quote unquote experts who know how to scale your brand. It's just organic content and curated niche videos that are targeting that lifestyle and that same ICP, that ideal customer profile. So there's no real congruence with the type of content or branding, so to speak, if you think about comparing that to your Shopify branding kit or your Amazon branding kit. It's not going to be the same. You're going to have a wide variety of content that works really well. And what I would say is if you have anywhere from 10 to 20,000 engagements within 48 hours, that is what creates an opportunity for you to gain massive organic traffic and sales. And so you can't as much guarantee your sales with organic content as much as you can guarantee the traffic. And the traffic, I would say, usually converts anywhere from 1 to 5%. But if you have millions of followers and if you're creating millions of views on videos where you don't really have to have followers to generate, then of course that translates to sales down the road. So going back to it, it's not as much about get me on TikTok Shop, let's start blasting campaigns and running ads and targeting keywords. TikTok Shop doesn't really work like that. You're going to have to start at a foundational level, fundamentally building out your video campaigns first. And that's the lifeblood of any TikTok shop today. And it doesn't matter what you're selling as long as you have a way to highlight your USP. So even you could have the most boring product, but if I can display that in a way that's seen and translated on video so that my ideal customer profile knows about it, they're going to create conversions no matter where they're located, no matter what time they're viewing it. And TikTok makes it their feed in a way that it's so organic and seamless. If you create a video that's geared towards entertainment, they're going to want to purchase it anyway. Now, CLV, LTV is another focus, but your initial goal is to get somebody to first purchase and capture that data. Whereas most Amazon sellers up until recently have been kept in the dark with most of their customer data. And if you're not doing video brand campaigns and you're spending less, you're not making high seven figures, you're not going to have most of the data that you would have if you're running, DSP campaigns on Amazon. And so in that way, you're able to see a pocket and close the opportunity on TikTok Shop. Now, the other thing is you don't need more than, $5K or $5,000 to start on TikTok Shop. You don't have to be fully invested in the entire project for you to start seeing some sales. And our typical range of a good scalable product or shop on TikTok Shop is anywhere from 5 to 7x within 60 days. Now, what do I mean by 7x return on ad spend? When you create, let's say you put down $5,000 on your TikTok shop, you should be able to see if your shop works within 60 days, and that return on investment should be a 5 to 7x. And how you would do that is through video content campaigns. And so not only trending products sell on TikTok. Most of the products that are selling right now are selling because they're active, they post daily, and they're playing the volume game. There is a tool that you can easily see kind of what products are selling well, and you can go ahead and find similar products to yours, even competitors of yours, and you can tell how much money they're making online. And fastmoss.com does the best at this. They're partnered with TikTok in a sense that they're learning constantly. They're adding to their queue of lists of people who are selling online. Now, if you look here, most of these people who are selling, and we're just looking right now at daily sales, we're seeing like plain old products selling anywhere from 8 to 4 to 3K units per day. And if you look deeper into their strategy, it's all here. It's the commission rate. And so just like that, like your videos are going to be able to be drivers, lures for more purchases. So most of the products in the top ranked shop right now, just today, just because I'm segmenting for this daily filter, is something that you would find on Amazon and think relatively, the product imaging is not optimized. If you're looking at it from an expert view, most of your products that are listed on any of your shops are going to be as good or better than these products here. Yet it's a bit odd in some senses that their GMV in a day would be above 100,000. And that's why I'm saying the blue ocean is a huge part of that or a factor to it. So going back to that same misconception, it's not about how you sell on TikTok. It's not where you sell or what you're trying to do. It's not a specific product. It's more following the strategy that once I'm online, once I have registry done, you've done more than half the battle for yourself. But as long as you don't do video, you won't see what the other end of that is. And so you can't go out there and do random videos in order to produce engagements. There's a specific way that you need to do content. And that's what I want to get into. Like what drives the product strategy here and how do you build your offer? And so if you saw in my just what I showed you on Fastmoss, you saw there's a commission rate. And so a lot of the TikTok sellers today are selling through affiliate programs. Now, the TikTok creator or affiliate program is something sponsored within the TikTok Business Center space as a central hub where you can connect with other creators who are selling and who work with other brands in your niche. Now, you can go down to the granular level of figuring out what hashtag they're promoting, what keywords they're promoting, and what niche these creators are doing videos for. That's going to be where you're going to center most of your initial content for once you have everything registered. And so the main key here is create attractive videos. And attractive videos doesn't necessarily mean UGC. Like I can make a video of any single product and talk about how good it is. I can tell you the use cases. I can even highlight the USPs. But just like anything else, people don't really care as much about what the product has to offer as much as the branding behind it. And so sometimes your product and another product are exactly the same, but the only difference would be how and what you're doing to represent that it's different on the video campaign level. And so a good representation of this is like there are brands out there that are selling supplements. For example, there's a supplement brand called JNX Sports USA. For them, they've been trying to put out content for the past 3 to 4 months, and they've not been doing well. However, outside of Amazon or outside of TikTok Shop on Amazon and in other like marketplaces like iHerb and other different platforms, they're seeing above like high 7 figures, almost 8 figures in sales year round. And their problem here isn't as much as they're not doing content as they're really just not using the right type of content and they're doing too much of the monotonous stuff. And so just like everything else, it's not as much about having like showing your product and displaying it as much as it is the delivery and the style of video you're creating to provide different angles, different lifestyles, different demographics to display your product. And so that's why our client at Go Pure does a lot of variations of content. So they have a close-up talking head content. They have content where you have like a meme style or a theme driven content style. And then you have like a meet the founder type of video. You have the display videos or the stop motion style of videos. And all of these are centered around different use cases of the product and they're not direct. And so you don't have to be so direct in order to generate traffic and sales as much as you have to be creative in the way that you're doing it. So it shouldn't be up to you how to generate those creatives. It shouldn't be only you that's focusing on those angles. And so once you have your creative magnetic offer, meaning something that's going to be attractive enough to catch the awareness side of the attention of a potential customer. While I'm scrolling through, if I understand, okay, if I'm going to get this much value or this product at this price, then what's the next step going to be, which is it's going to be creating your attractive video. So those two paired together is actually going to drive more sales for you. And so as I go down the sheet, you'll find a lot of similarities as to what focus I'm trying to put on the importance of building out on TikTok Shop. Just like on Amazon or Shopify, if you're optimizing your landing page, your A+ content, you're optimizing your main image. That stuff translates to TikTok Shop being how can you optimize your videos so they display your products in the best way. And so the UGC route more speaks to how how your product stands out against the others or how your product works. But most people understand what your product is before they need to see a video about it. So most of the videos that you make or you're doing with UGC ends up becoming something that's seen in the background, not really cared about, put into that kind of swipe mode where people are just swiping past it. They're not giving it a second guess or any type of engagement. And that's most brands who try to launch anything influencer related. And so that's something you want to avoid when you're on TikTok Shop. It's the content that you're doing. And there's a very simple way that you can stick to a system. And most creators really don't have as much of an idea about TikTok as they do maybe on social media. But the best way to focus is this. You have a hook. In the first 1 to 2 seconds, you want to drive some type of attention to the potential prospect without directly saying that, hey, this is my product, right? So initially, your whole video should be centered around something entirely different than your actual product or your brand. It should be just somebody walking down the strip and then stopping and seeing something and then going into your product, or a hook that has nothing to do with you're selling, for example, supplements, but the hook itself is actually a why question as to, your relationship status, or what you did for lunch, or what you did on your break. And then it's going to go into something else. So using that opposite of problem, agitate, solution, but more like attract, interest, engage type of model is going to do the best for you on the ideas. And so every day you're going to want to schedule out at least one video post that has a hook in the 1 to 2 second range. You show the product in use, but you're showing it in use in a way that it's very casual. It's organic. It's something that, I almost didn't notice it, but when I watched it the second time, not because I saw the product, but because it was interesting, I found it and then I made a purchase. And so you can address the problem, but address it in a way that's more creative and quirky rather than something that's right in front of your face, something that's more, an incognito promotion, so to speak. So your UGC formats are actually going to be similar to this. So I'm not trying to pull you away from doing the UGC as much as I want to refocus what UGC is. So you'll see a lot of creators, a lot of kind of brands out there and agencies who are doing quote unquote UGC promotions. I would say this, avoid them at all costs. Most of the time, UGC farmers and UGC farmed agencies, where you're going online and selecting, or somebody's going to open a contract and you're going to get 10, 20, 100 creators, that's never a good sign. Most of the UGC and influencer promotions you're going to want to do are at least $250 to $1,000 per promotion, but they're going to give you something, one, traffic in your niche audience. So if I had, for example, 1,000 followers who all believed in creatine supplements, and I was partnering with that JNX sports company, for example, who focuses on those type of supplements, then I would have that translation with my audience. And so it's all about that. You go to the right aisle in the market for what you're shopping for, similar to what you do with finding a creator. You have to know what they're selling. And when you know kind of their ICP and their following, then you can validate doing a UGC video with them. Now, when you have a UGC video, it's important to highlight what the key kind of opening lines are. And I've listed them here. So they're either unboxing experiences, I saw this on TikTok, which is a huge one because the hashtag TikTok made me buy it has actually 59 billion views per day. And most people are shopping on TikTok made me buy it or have some type of affiliation to that hashtag. And so that's going to be something that you can focus on. You can do reaction and testimonial videos. You can do meet the founder videos. You can do you need this if videos. And so when you're doing UGC, think about the difference between what you would sell at a just everyday marketplace versus how you would sell it if it were, a Super Bowl commercial. You want to expect that the audience is already going to give your eyes towards that promotion rather than you having to struggle to promote it. Because at the end of the day, the products and the TikTok shops with the best engagement never throw the product down your throat. They're always doing it casually. And so that's what's ending up driving most of the purchases. Okay, so going back into what the creator and affiliates program is. Now, this is different than influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is when you have a person who has a specific niche set of skills and niche following that's going to be able to benefit your brand. That's the initial foundation that you're going to want to set up when you have your TikTok shop registered. After that, you're doing what's known as the affiliate creator or affiliate center program. And that's where the percentage comes in. And so when we're talking about a magnetic offer in the previous slide, it should make sense for you in order for you to create awareness around what your cost of goods sold are going to be, what your profit margin is going to be, so that you can offer samples to affiliates. Now, every TikTok shop should have at least 100 samples given per day. Per month. Per month, you're going to want to send around 100 samples. And with those, a creator will make inside of TikTok shop, the creator center, their video, and they're going to post it for you. Now, usually you won't find creators that are working with people under 20%. And so you can search, like I said, here for like different hashtags, different interests, different keywords, and they're going to give you all of the creators that are specifically on TikTok, not any other cross-channel platform. And that's what's actually going to drive more of the refined searches for you so that you can find the right people. Now, when I press invite here, that's going to give them the heads up that, hey, I want to work with you. This is our commission, and this is what our product is. As long as you have a half decent product, a 20% or above commission, most creators are going to want to work with you. Now, you would go through and do the due diligence. What does that mean? I would specifically go back to Fastmoss, go to the creator under creator search, and most of the people here are going to be vetted creators that you can work with. The verified ones you can see here. And then you can even go under growth rank and see weekly, monthly, daily, what it looks like with certain creators. Now, at the very top, of course, you'll see like celebrities, but as you go down, you'll see what's being promoted at a larger scale for brands that aren't related to celebrities. Now, you can get to the mega influencers down the road, but it's not important to do crazy large influencer affiliates right off the bat. Most of your sales that are going to be 100,000 per month or a flat 1 million per year are going to be people that are just daily creators making average videos that have following, that's not crazy cinematic, anything extra with their video effects. It's more organic stuff that's related to your own niche, and you can find them easily on that TikTok Creator Center. Now, you're going to need to enable your sample requests. Like I said, you should have at least 20 open per week. So, per month, you can send around 100. And then you're going to want to target high performers. And so just because somebody has 10,000 followers doesn't mean they carry less weight than somebody with 100,000 followers. And so how you check that engagement is based on what you're going to do next, and how you're going to segment those creators. And so you're going to need to build a creator roster. You're going to be able to do all of this after you set up and register your shop. It's so important that you do this because most of the people that we're working with, and just the brand that we worked with last month to drive 1 million in 90 days, 12x for us, came from an Alibaba sourced product. They rebranded, and because TikTok Shop is a relatively new platform, they were able to scale really quickly without any major brand coming in and like beating them off of like out of the water, so to speak. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. Most of this stuff is going to end up being how you can drive more traffic through good content. Good content just means you're scaling with your niche. And so what does paid ad strategy look like, and how does scaling work? most of the people who are pushing TikTok Shop who already have affiliates and you're already generating 5 to 6K, six figures in monthly revenue with your shop are going to have influencers and they're going to have affiliates. But what brings you to the 7-figure range for most sellers are the Spark ads. It's not as much the retargeting as it is just the Spark ads. So what a Spark ad means is if you have a product that's selling well or a video that's selling well for a specific SKU, then when that product video has above 10,000 in reach or views within 24 to 48 hours, as long as it's scaled up within that time horizon, if you put an advertisement there, it's likely to do much, much better than your average video that's, you know, taking a bit longer to increase in traffic or might not ever get there. And so as long as you have that initial idea in mind that it's always organic first. If it's I'm setting up my shop and I want to just slap a budget towards ads to it, it's the wrong way to do things. You can't do PPC on TikTok the same way you do PPC on Amazon. It doesn't work that way. And so it's a whole paradigm shift when you're thinking about doing TikTok Shop, because it's usually a field in which you'll probably know a lot less of than your typical e-commerce platform that you're more used to. And so budget planning, of course, you can go into that and start scaling up your winning products. You can test it, recycle. You probably know most of that when you're already on the ads platform. Now, like I said earlier, your ads platform, you're going to want to target and go really, really narrow on the budget. Once you have that narrow budget figured out, you're good to go. Nothing else needs to change until you're at a high 6-figure range with a good profitability. And good profitability usually is seen at around 7 to 10x. And so once you're 7 to 10x, there's nothing else you need to do in order to scale. Now, you might be asking yourself, like, what product images should I need to upload? Your main images from Amazon are your best bet, just because you don't want to get caught in doing the 80 out of the 20 things that are most important for you to actually succeed. So if it's 80-20 and you're on the 20 side that actually accounts for 100% of the work, then you're actually only focusing on organic and affiliates. And a lot of that is just, are you registered? And so the live stuff is really important as well. You should find a creator that's doing lives for you, that's doing host sessions 2 to 3 times weekly. And these purchases are actually going to be similar to a infomercial, but it's more modernized. So if you have a product that people are interested in and actually are, you know, the ICP is actually on TikTok scrolling it often, so that's a 18 to 30 range in age, then you're going to want to do these lives to generate more sales. Now, you do this with the creator programs that you're currently working with. As long as you're doing 100 samples, as long as you're doing 10 creators per month, there's almost no way that you can't have an above 7x return on ad spend. And when I say ad spend, that's also inclusive of the influencer marketing. Now, the timeline here varies, right? If you're setting up your shop, it usually takes a week. If you want somebody like an agency to do it for you, they're probably going to ask you for $1,000 because they don't know exactly, like, you know, how much cost is this gonna to be on for us? How much legal do we have to go back and forth to get? It's as simple as going to the US Seller Center, logging in with your email and adding your EIN or adding your business information with your ID card. That's like literally how simple it is. Now, the more technical stuff of the setup is the optimization, the video, the product images, and that's actually going to be the stuff that's a bit more nuanced for just the everyday person who's not used to selling online. What that's going to look like is your main image, your primary, secondary, in use, size and scale, close up, and then your categories. Again, the most important thing here is your descriptors, using the right keywords, and then your video. Most people leave out the video, and that's why your health of your shop won't actually go up until you have this filled out or a video displaying your product. And that's why most people, when you're running ads to this product, if you don't have a video, nobody's going to care about it, because the photo stuff are more for the consideration mid funnel. Whereas, you're trying to focus on getting somebody to purchase within the seconds that they're looking at your video or in that replay, because it's an attractive video. And so product strategy is anything from, if you have multiple SKUs, how do you produce more sales and what products do you sell? And so that's the high level information that you're going to need from an agency that's been working with brands that are doing above 7 figures. Now, 7 figures isn't a lot when you're working with, brands that are selling hundreds of SKUs, sometimes, close to thousands of SKUs in different categories. Now, for you to find somebody who's a TikTok subject matter expert is few and far in between, because you have the people who are experts in ads and the people who are experts in creator stuff. The TikTok shop is so new that you'd have to be focused on it for the past, 1.5 to 2 years for you to have that nuanced knowledge. And so that's something that's kind of rare to find. You can try to look in Upwork and other places and get a quote for yourself. A good starter budget is around $1,000. A scale up budget, something where you're going to want to have somebody scale this in 2 weeks, give you a clear strategy and pass it off to your team. That's going to be, around $2K. So this is the most important part. What amount of money is going to drive sales for my brand, your brand? And that's usually going to be your, $3,000 budget. So you can allocate that towards creators. Now, a lot of people that we work with, even the people within our agency, are saying, hey, Sage, make sure that they spend $3,000, no less than $3,000 on creators, because they need volume and they need good, attractive content in order to scale. Now, that's not always true, but I would say that if you hyper focus on anything, you should focus on the content and the affiliates. There's nothing that you can do better than focusing on content with affiliates and influencers, because if you have that, most of those affiliates and creators are going to be the fuel for your entire brand down the line. There's nothing that you need to know more or that you need to follow up on once you have that promotion. It's like purchasing an advertisement and a lifetime budget, where that lifetime budget almost never runs out as long as the posts exist on that platform that the person or creator posting it has uploaded it to. And so that's probably the biggest investment you'll make, is the initial videos. And once you have the videos, people usually ask me like, okay, well, can we just run ads after and just focus on this PPC game? And my answer for that is yes and no. Sometimes you want to spend a lot on ads because, influencer marketing is doing great. And this month we did, 2 million, but the next month you're probably going to see, diminishing returns, just because you don't have a clear focus on what actually drove those sales there. So you're going to want to do at least 3 rounds of influencer creation before you get to the place where you're confident enough to scale just on ads alone. Now, TikTok Shop hasn't even been around long enough for us to give data on what happens after the 3-year mark, but we can say that affiliates and focusing on that before you get into the PPC game is going to be most important. Now, if you have creators, if you have video, if you have organic content that works, that is quality, that you can post right now on your platform, schedule it up now. Get to the scheduler and line everything up for the next 30 days. That's going to be the most important thing for you, because that's what works. And if you aren't confident in it, then the process is not going to follow through. Your paid ads is not going to have as much returns as you're going to want it to. And so if you're scaling up and you're confident in it, then a $2,000 to $3,500 budget is going to be good for you as a starting seller. If you're ready to scale, that's usually going to be 5 to 15K. The tools, the little FastMoss stuff, your little Fast Tracker IQ, your Creator IQ, where you're going to find top-notch affiliates, and then getting a service or a little integration where you can add TikTok Shop to various other platforms like Shopify, for example. That's going to be like an easy $100 to $300, and that's going to be what you're going to utilize, similar to if you're an Amazon seller, like your Helium 10, your Jungle, AMZ Scout, stuff like that. And so with that being said, we're kind of coming to the end of the webinar. And I would say that just to keep in mind, scale what works, focus on and capitalize on what already works for your brand. If you know that what works for you, the founder stories work for you. If you want to go low cost and you want to do it organic, that's okay. But you need to find a base where people know all of this stuff, where there are actually other sellers who are making wins and doing stuff where they can share that with you. And so if you're worried about consistent content, if you don't know what exactly drives sales externally off Amazon, then you're in a really, really big worry spot where you might need to figure out what to do next to avoid fees. And that's most sellers on Amazon, most sellers on any single channel. And TikTok Shop can easily provide that for you. And what we're going to do is something very, very simple. Because you don't know what to do next, our offer suits all sellers. We have a group chat where there's 50 other TikTok shops scaling upwards of 6 figures per year to 7 figures per year. Now, there's a big range in between, but what we're offering is if you don't know what to do, you need experience, we're going to be able to get on a call with you. We have a team of 30 different experts and then 50 different sellers who are going to be able to give you that targeted experience and knowledge. We do a call per week. We break down different pain points and issues. And then everything from the setup fee to how to register and those consultation calls are going to be covered by us. If you want to scale your brand, if you're questioning how to structure your registry or your setup for your products, that's going to be on us. Now, right now on the TikTokShop.co, we have an offer, and that offer is the $950 community, where it's a masterclass, a mastermind, where you're able to talk to us every single week, learn, grow, figure it out on your own. Now, we're not going to give anything other than the registry. When we do registry for you, we can, work with you on all the filing. We can give you back-to-back calls in that regard, follow up on things, but we're not going to do anything creator, editing, stuff like that, that's going to drive the sales. So, that'll be on your own to figure out. Now, I would say if I gave a timeline to this, it's usually 120, 180 days. You're going to figure it out. You're going to find inspiration. Somebody else is selling products just like yours, and you're going to say, okay, well, that's a clear line to success. I'm going to follow that. And you might connect with somebody down the road and end up partnering or end up doing your own thing and just kind of following suit, not needing to recreate the wheel. Now, if you want to scale up in 60 to 90 days and okay, I've been selling on Amazon, I've been selling on Shopify for a while, and I just want somebody to just kind of figure this thing out, right? We have a done with you program. And now every program that I'm listing here is, you sign up with us, we'll set up your shop for free. If we can't set it up for free, then we'll give all your money back, no questions asked. That's the type of business that we're running. And so the done with you scale up is $1,900. And you can go on our website. I'm going to link here. It's going to come with consultations weekly, one-to-one, not in the group. It's going to come with all of our SOPs and our sheets. And then it's going to come with the video campaign stuff and over 5,000 different creators that's going to drive either traffic or going to be a part of the affiliate stuff. On top of that, we're going to give you access to our partner Hyros, which has everything to do with your ads, scaling online, and And then you're going to be able to track how many purchases are coming from and to your TikTok shop, even outside of the actual platform itself, like not just TikTok shop seller center, but the actual um, external link, like I was sharing before. And so I just shared that in the chat. If you're interested in looking at it, it's going to be available for 24 hours. I'm not like trying to mess around. I don't want to do like the countdown clock. I don't really care about that. I'm just trying to offer you guys the opportunity. If you made it this far, like might as well figure out a group and find a community that understands a little bit more about TikTok Shop and how to scale. And like I said, we're going to be able to partner with you guys. We'll cover that $1,000 to $2,000 setup fee. As long as you guys have the ability to register within the US as a company, you don't need to be residents here, but you'd have to be, you know, your articles of organization needs to be here, and then you'd maybe have to get your good standing of your business certificate. If you have that, then you'd be able to register quite easily. Now, going back to it, your community, your influencer list, it's going to be $950. You're going to do that scale on your own. The DWY scale up, that's $1,900, 24 hours. We're going to do all of our sheets, all of our platform stuff, everything that we use for creator growth. It's going to be included in that as well. It's also listed in the description. If you're interested in that, we're also going to help you get on a call, register, regardless of what kind of package you're into. We're going to get on a call with you, schedule right away once you make that registry, and then we're going to set up a call where we can get your TikTok shop going. If we can't get it going, we'll kick you back 100% refund. We're all gonna send you this note taker. We're gonna use that as our agreement as well. If you're really looking to scale and you're like I want my hands off of this, and you want to scale up quickly, and like, okay, Sage said influencers, Sage said something about affiliate creator stuff, Sage said something about doing USPs and scripts and all this other stuff. How do I kind of get into doing this? I don't want to look at this any further. I want somebody else who's more expertise to look at every single facet of this business. It's going to be from affiliate, influencer, ads, to organic, to optimization, to registry. That's going to be the scale up, 30 days, $9,500, A to Z management. This is good for people who are already long-standing sellers on Amazon. And most of the sellers that are working with us here are 7-figure sellers who are like, I don't want to do BS stuff, Sage, just get me the results. And so that's kind of, that the A to Z management. And there you can go to our website and you'll have like, let's launch a viral sensation. It's going to take you to book a call. You can book a call with me. We'll talk one-on-one how to scale up. And then we'll get into that offer right away. The other offers are here on the website. Now, just today, within 24 hours, if any of you in this list are booking a call with me for anything DIY that's not related to the $1,900 package or the $950, I'm going to drop that initial cost to $4,500, and then we're going to work together until we get results. We're not going to charge you the rest of the actual fee. Or if you're more comfortable with it, we'll do a rev share where you only set up for 3,500, and then you're going to give us a 10% of your net profit. Now we're confident in what we're doing here. I have a team that's ready to get into action right away. We're onboarding anywhere from 20 to 40 clients per month. And, starting this month, we're seeing a lot of traction. We're ready to go. And so, if you're interested, the offer's available. It's gonna end in the next 24 hours. Tomorrow at this time, it's going to be taken offline. The price will either hike up to about 2x what it is now, or you have to schedule a call with me at another time. We'll have to take an analysis of that. That being said, there's so many other things that we can cover about TikTok. There's the nuanced stuff. There's the TikTok analytics. There's little integrations that you can work with Shopify, with Amazon. The last thing I'll say is if you're an Amazon seller and you're like, I don't have a 3PL and I don't know how I'm going to do fulfillment, best way to do it is MCF to start. And then you're going to want to kind of section out of that when you're scaling up your product past 6 figures a month. Yeah, so with that being said, it's been a good call with you guys. If you have any little questions or you want to go down a different stream of conversation, you can raise your hand now. We can kind of have a little chat for the next 10 minutes and then yeah, that'll be it. I'm also going to turn on the messages in the chat. No, social security number is not required. Um, you'll have a EIN number or your tax code number. If you don't have a registered business in the US, we have a service. Part of our registration fee that we're waiving includes legal services to help you set that up. It's going to be an LLC, um, something like non-corporate, where you can register an entity. And as long as you have your EIN, then you can register. Okay. In your case, we would do the Yep. So anybody who's interested in this long term, just like wants to do a one-to-one call. Obviously, I'm doing all this stuff like off the sheet and kind of going into little kind of different streams of consciousness as I'm speaking. So if you want to book a call, now, and we can kind of discuss next week or the week after, whenever's good for you. I have an open calendar there. I'm happy to discuss what's possible for you. If you don't have somebody in the US who has an SSN who's also at least a 25% shareholder in your business, that's going to be like your biggest issue. I would say getting somebody involved like us who can actually provide that is actually going to be your best bet at doing it. There are also ways around it with our legal team. They actually work as a TSP. So TikTok Shop Service Provider is an agency that works for TikTok within TikTok's ecosystem. We are directly partnered with that agency that's going to actually help us. In some cases, they'll be able to waive certain formats in order for us to register. So it's not uncommon for us to waive things like the SSN if there is a true articles of organization. Most of the time, it's similar to payment processors where you'll have an automatic um, follow up or blockage that says, "Hey, you can't register due to this," because it's just a format. But yeah, we can definitely help you solve that. Ecom J says replay. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I would say if you're looking for the video, it's going to be uploaded on my channel. Um, we're going to talk a bit more about it. It's my first time doing a webinar. I'm not really stuck on the webinar stuff, but we used to do like Amazon webinars a few years back. Um, and a good partner of ours, Kevin Sanderson, does webinars all the time, and he's now working as my Amazon guy's marketing manager. So it's great to see what that looks like. Anyway, other than that, um, yeah, it looks like we've kind of come to a close with our webinar. Anybody in this list who's joining late, joined a bit after, did not get to see the webinar all the way through, I'm going to have that recording sent to you. Other than that, you have that offer that's going to live on the TikTokShop.co's landing page, 24 hours. We're going to close up all these offers. The DWY, the growth mastermind offer, where we're going to cover in all of these offers, we'll waive the TikTok shop registration fee. If we can't get you registered, of course, we'll kick you back 100% of your paid fee. Yeah, and if you're interested in scaling and you want to do it within 30 days, just book a call. Other than that, it's been a great time seeing you guys here. Yeah, thank you guys for listening in, tuning in. See you on the next one.